In order to speak about the confirmation cross, we need to focus first on the weekly assignment. The weekly assignment's contents and methodology is changed to help the students to build week by week his or her own personal confirmation cross. This change applies to assignments due starting from January 1st. The assignments can be delivered by email, but needs to be printed and turned in before each class session starts. Therefore, each student must keep a copy of all the assignments to the end of the program. The part 1 of the assignment is already changed in order to accomplish the confirmation cross process, and it continues to be the mass attendance and the personal reflection. The image below is an example of the first part of the weekly assignment. It continues to be, as I said, the mass attendance and the same questions that we had been working on so far. In addition to that, at the end of this first part, the student must answer 3 additional questions about his or her mass personal experience. The 3 questions are: God invited you to Mass for a reason. Write what or where during Mass you felt that God is protecting you, or God is talking to you, or God is looking for you. Then, the second part of the assignment changed completely. It continues to be the gospel reflection, but the questions that are related to the gospel reflections are more related to personal experience when you read the gospel, more than a reflection about what is the contents of the gospel itself. So the image below shows an image of the second part of the weekly assignment, and the student must select next week assignment by looking at the due before class start date. As you can see, each due date is a class date. So once the due date has been found and the corresponding gospels on the left column selected, the student must find the gospel in the Bible, then answer the 3 questions about such reading. One of the questions, the first question is, what message gets you closer to God? The second question is, what message help you to make your faith stronger? And the third question is, what message shows you God's presence, and or which one is promise of God for you? Then students need to return the assignments, hard copies of this assignment. They are going to be collected and kept all the way to the point that we need to start building the confirmation cross. So let's talk about the horizontal portion of the confirmation cross. The horizontal portion of the cross represents our own personal search for God. In other words, it is our earthly effort to try to find God around us and all the things we do daily to try to accomplish this. The gospel reflection on your weekly assignments will help you to obtain 2 of the main components of this part of the cross. The horizontal portion of the cross is divided in 3 zones: the left margin, the right margin, and the center. So let's talk about the left margin. What gets me closer to God? That comes from the gospel reflection. When you answer the questions, what message gets you closer to God, you are preparing to fill up this part. The right margin, what helped me in my faith? That comes also from the gospel reflection. When you answer the questions, what message helps you to make your faith stronger, you are preparing to fill up this part. Now, the center portion contains information about your own actions that leads you to get closer to God. It is divided into sections: making waves and helping others to make waves. Making waves means you will fill this part of your cross with those things you do with all your heart to tell God that you are actively looking for Him. You will need to answer yourself about the following personal questions and write these answers on the cross. What prayers you know and you use? What sacraments you practice? What retreats you have been And which ones are you going to be assisting? What ministry or ministries are you part of? Are you going to Mass daily or weekly? Do you visit Jesus in the chapel, and how often? Do you pray the rosary, and how often? Any other actions you do to live your faith? So this is making waves. The other part is helping others to make waves. This is you will fill this part of your cross with those actions that you do to bring peace, love, joy to others, and to show and share God's love and presence on your own life. So you will need to look into your good deeds, the people you talk with about God, the support you provide to others. You visit the hospital, the jail, or nursing homes, people you comfort or pray for. You go into prayer group, the youth group, or other type of Christian groups. The following diagram illustrates the horizontal portion of your confirmation cross with all the elements that you need to collect from the gospel reflections to fill it up, as I explained it before. Now let's talk about the vertical portion of the cross. The vertical portion of the cross represents what God does to look for you every day on your life. So the gospel reflection of your weekly assignments will help you to obtain two of the five main components of this part of the cross. The other three, you will get them from your mass attendance report. So the vertical portion of the cross is divided in five main zones. Two are on the top of the vertical part of the cross and the other three at the bottom. The center of the cross is a circle, which represents the Holy Host. These are the two elements present on the top portion of the vertical part of the cross. The two elements are God's presence and God's protections. The God's presence, on your gospel reflection, you answer a third question, trying to explain if you found God's presence and in what part of your reading you found such presence. The second question is God's protection. On your mass attendance, you report that you answer a first question. Write what or where during Mass you felt that God is protecting you. So those two parts will help you to get the results or the answer for these two questions in the vertical portion of the cross. The other three elements at the bottom of the vertical part of the cross are God talks to me, God looks for me, and God's promise. God talks to me is you find it on your mass attendance reports when you answer the second questions. Write what or the word during Mass you felt that God is talking to you. About God looks for me, you find it also on your mass attendance report when you answer the third questions. Write what or where during Mass you felt that God is looking for you. And last but not least, God's promise. On your gospel reflections, you answer a third questions, trying to explain if you found any of God's promises in what part of your readings. The following diagram illustrates that vertical portion of the confirmation cross with all the elements that you need to collect from the gospel reflections and your mass attendance to fill it up. God bless you so much.